We're living in a world that feels like it's constantly on a knife's edge. Escalating conflicts, volatile markets, it feels like a single shock to the energy supply could bring global industry to its knees. So you have to wonder, when the world's factory faces this kind of turmoil, what's the one question that looms over everything else? I mean, could it actually happen? Could the supply chains that pretty much the entire world depends on just suddenly go dark? Well, the answer is fascinating, and it lies in a massive, deliberate strategy to build what you can only call an energy fortress. And to really understand the opportunities here, you've got to understand that strategy. It's all about knowing China to do better business, saving you time and money with expert insights on China trade and investment. So, welcome to Trade with China. Okay, let's get into it. Part 1, the fortress strategy. This is all about how China locked down its energy foundation in the first quarter of 2026. See, faced with all this global uncertainty, China didn't just react. It executed a really powerful plan. And it all started by doubling down on what it can control right at home. So what was the first line of defense? Just sheer overwhelming volume. In the first quarter, domestic energy production, we're talking coal, oil, gas, electricity, all of it surged to brand new record levels. The scale of this is, well, it's just staggering. Let's start with the foundation, coal. Get this, 1.2 billion tons in just 3 months. Now, that's not just some abstract number. That is the bedrock. It's the absolute guarantee for China's vast industrial base that no matter what happens out there in the world, the lights are staying on. All right, next up, oil. A steady increase to nearly 55 million tons. And what does that tell you? It shows this relentless push for greater self-reliance. It's all about reducing vulnerability to those crazy international price swings and geopolitical games. And would you look at the jump in natural gas? Over 68 billion cubic meters, and it's growing at a really rapid pace. This is such a crucial transitional fuel, and it looks like China is unlocking its own domestic reserves faster than ever. So you can see, this isn't just about digging and drilling, right? It's about building a fortress of energy security that can literally weather any storm. This massive domestic output, it's not some short-term fix. It's the foundational wall of that energy fortress, and it's designed to create a stable, predictable environment for business and investment, even in a global storm. But just raw production? That can only get you so far. A fortress needs more than just thick walls. It needs an intelligent design. So the big question is, how do you make a system this massive truly resilient? And that brings us to the next layer of this strategy, the national shield. This is where it gets really clever. It's about engineering a system that doesn't just produce energy, but delivers it reliably everywhere, all the time. Now, check this out, because it solves a fundamental geographic problem. China's energy resources are mostly in the West, but its industrial powerhouses are all in the East. The solution? The West-to-East Power Transmission Project. It's the largest grid on Earth, and it acts like a national circulatory system, just pumping power from where it's made to exactly where it's needed. And this strategy isn't just domestic. Look at how they handle imports. It's all about diversification. By building this web of overland pipelines, while also sourcing from tons of different countries by sea, China avoids depending on any single route or any single region. And this approach is so effective that even with record domestic production, crude imports also hit a record high, filling up the reserves and securing the supply chain from every possible angle. Okay, so we have a stable foundation and a super resilient system. But the most transformative part of this whole fortress, it's not built from concrete or steel. It's the pivot to the green revolution. So take a look at the power that was actually generated in the first quarter. Now, while fossil fuels are still the majority, an incredible 1/3 of all electricity produced now comes from clean sources like hydro, nuclear, wind, and solar. But that's not even the most stunning part. Okay, this is the real headline. As of early 2026, the total installed capacity of renewable energy in China officially surpassed fossil fuels. We're talking over 60% of the entire power system. Now, this isn't some forecast for the future. It's a historic tipping point. The transition is no longer a goal, it's the reality right now. So, the really crucial point here is that this green push is completely reinventing what energy security even means. For China, building wind farms and solar parks isn't just about the environment. It's a core national security strategy.
It's about systematically replacing dependency on foreign fuel with domestic, inexhaustible resources.
So, what does this multi-layered fortress, built on production, resilience, and a green revolution, what does it all mean for international business and for investors like you? Well, for your business, it means four key things. First, way lower operational risk from the kind of energy shocks we're seeing elsewhere. Second, a stable and predictable manufacturing environment. Third, absolutely massive growth opportunities in green technology sectors. And finally, a more resilient Chinese supply chain that you can actually rely on. Ultimately, China isn't just securing its energy supply. It's building a new kind of energy superpower, one that's founded on both traditional strength and incredible renewable ambition. So the question for the rest of us is no longer if this will lead the green transition, but how our businesses will adapt and find the opportunities inside this new reality. This channel will bring you that practical knowledge to navigate business, investment, culture, economic trends, and all the communication tips you need in trades with China. Your comments really encourage us and help us realize our video's value and update with more useful information. So please press like and subscribe now for actionable insights and win-win solutions. You don't want to miss the possibility to understand and make money in trades with China.